Senator Pan, are you prepared to take up the Senate? Oh, 226. My apologies. 226. Secretary, please read. Members, this is file item 226.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 66 by Assemblymember Bonta relative to Filipino American History Month.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, today I rise to present ACR 66 on behalf of Assemblymember Rob Bonta, which would recognize October 2015 as Filipino American History Month and the 428th anniversary of the first presidents of Filipinos in the continental United States. The largest number of Filipinos in the nation reside right here in California. The 1.5 million Filipinos currently living in this state constitute the largest and fastest growing Asian American group in California. Preserving our Filipino communities throughout California and the United States is critical to our state's history, our national history, and preservation of Filipino culture, traditions, and heritage. Filipino Americans have made tremendous contributions to the history of our state and nation, from laboring in the agricultural fields and helping provide food to our fellow Americans, to proudly serving in our nation's military forces and protecting our country. Many generations of Filipino Americans have made great sacrifices and helped shape American culture and history. By recognizing October 2015 as Filipino American History Month, ACR 66 encourages Californians to celebrate the accomplishments and traditions of this important group. I hope that you'll take the opportunity provided by the Filipino American History Month to celebrate the accomplishments and contributions of this important community in California and the U.S. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Senator Pan moves the call. Members, we're moving to file item 351. 351. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 97 by Assemblymember Weber, an act relating to in-home supportive services.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, the Coordinate Care Initiative was established in 2012 to integrate all aspects of health care and long-term care delivery, including in-home support services, into managed care for dual eligibles, individuals of both Medicare and Medi-Cal, and other Medi-Cal beneficiaries in 8 pilot counties. This CCI statute included the provisions for managed care plans providing services in CCI to authorize and pay for extra home care services beyond what an IHSS social worker has authorized for a consumer enrolled in the CCI. However, managed care plans are actually prohibited by statute from paying an individual provider of home care services directly. Therefore, there's no mechanism in current statute to pay for an individual provider to provide these extra home care services that are authorized and funded by the managed care plans. The managed care plans could contract with a private home care agency to hire and pay home care providers to work these additional hours. However, there's no guarantee that the agency would hire the existing IHSS provider to work these hours, nor is there any way to force a plan to enter into such a contract. AB 97 maintains this continuity of care by reprogramming the case management information payroll system, the current IHSS payroll system, to enable it to receive payment from managed care health plans for the additional personal care services and related domestic service hours. AB 97 has received unanimous support in policy and fiscal committees. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk.
Senator Pan moves the call. Members, are there any other items on Assembly third reading that you would like to bring up? If not, we're going to move to unfinished business, beginning with file item 87, members. File item 87. Senator Liu, are you prepared to take up this item? Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 219 by Senator Liu, an act relating to prisons.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 219 is backed on concurrence. Amendments in the Assembly are technical, clarifying the procedure used to process ACP applications, and were developed in collaboration with CDCR. The bill has received no opposition and has bipartisan support, and I ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Glazer. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. No. Nielsen. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. I. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Galgiani. Glazer. I. Huff. Monning. Nielsen. Wolk.
Senator Liu moves the call. Members, moving on to file item 88. Senator Nielsen, not at his desk. File item 89, Senator Nielsen. File item 90, Senator Nielsen, not at his desk. File item 91, Senator Hancock. Pass. File item 92, Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 255 by Senator Liu, an act relating to state government.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 255 updates the government code with respect to the California Commission on the Status of Women and Girls and is back for concurrence. The amendments taken in the Assembly clear up confusion related to the Commission's ability to raise funds. This version of the bill clarifies that the provisions of the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Acts do not apply to meetings or activities conducted solely for the purpose of fundraising. Specifically, the bill notes that the Commission may conduct fundraising activities that require payment or purchase to attend. The exemptions provided in this bill will allow the Commission to more effectively raise funds and represent a potential general fund cost savings to the state. So I ask for your support on the bill.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I Weso. I Huff. Jackson. I Lada.
Aye.
I Leno. I Leva. I Lou. I McGuire. I Mendoza. Mitchell. I Monning. Morlock. I Morrell. I Wynn. I Nilsson. Pan. I Pavley. I Roth. I Runner. I Stone. I Vidak. I Wachowski. I Wolk.
Senator Liu moves the call. Members, we're moving to file item 93, Senator Wolk. On her desk. File item 94, Senator Wesso. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 303 by Senator Weso, an act relating to controlled substances.
Senator Wesso.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. Senators, I rise today to present SB 303. This is back for concurrence from Assembly amendments. This measure will protect an officer's health and safety by reducing the amount of marijuana that law enforcement must maintain as evidence. Assembly amendments require law enforcement to videotape controlled substances before they are destroyed in order to reasonably demonstrate the amount of the substance seized. The reduction in the amount of marijuana stored will provide for easier storage and safekeeping, thereby decreasing impacts to officers' health and safety, and it will also save taxpayers lots of money. I respectfully ask for your aye vote today. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing, hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I Anderson. I Bates. I Bell. I Berryhill. Block. I Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I Galgiani. I Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. I Hertzberg. I Hill. I Weso. I Huff. Jackson. I Lada. I Leno. I Leva. I Lou. I McGuire. I Mendoza. I Mitchell. Monning. Morlock. I Morrell. I Wynn. I Nilsson. Pan. I Pavley. I Roth. I Runner. I Stone. I Vidak. I Wachowski. Wolk.
Senator Wesso moves the call. Members, moving on to file item 95, Senator Jackson. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 342 by Senator Jackson, an act relating to unemployment insurance.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. SB 342 is an important yet focused measure that requires the California Workplace Development Board to develop programs that focus on helping individuals with barriers to employment. The measure aligns with new federal WIOA, Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act, standards and programs by making it clear that the state should focus on those who have barriers to employment. This bill has had unanimous bipartisan support, has received no votes. It is back on concurrence from the Assembly with an amendment to add a definition for earn and learn job training programs. Chaptering issues were also addressed through Assembly amendments. This measure is part of the Legislative Women's Caucus creating a stronger California by giving greater economic opportunity to women. This measure will make sure that we focus our workforce investment folks on this very critical group of people who need to learn but also need to earn at the same time. It's the Earn and Learn program. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I Anderson. I Bates. I Bell. I Berryhill. Block. I Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I Galgiani. I Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. I Hertzberg. I Hill. I Weso. I Huff. Jackson. I Lada. I Leno. I Leva. I Lou. I McGuire. I Mendoza. I Mitchell. I Monning. Morlock. I Morrell. Wynn. I Nilsson. Pan. I Pavley. I Roth, I Runner, I Stone, I Vidak, I Wachowski, I Wolk.
Senator Jackson moves the call. Moving on to file item 96, Senator Hill on his desk. File item 97, Senator Block. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 369 by Senator Block, an act relating to education data systems.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 369 is back for concurrence. It has enjoyed unanimous bipartisan support in both houses, support including the California Teachers Association, California PTA, the Department of Defense, U.S. Navy, U.S. Marine Corps, many veterans organizations as well. What the bill does is it assists school districts in tracking the progress and contributing to the success of students in military families. Amendments taken in the Assembly were technical in nature and involved updating a reference to the Budget Act, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, I. Anderson, I. Bates, I. Bell, I. Berryhill, Block, I. Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, I. Galgiani, I. Glazer, I. Hall, I. Hancock, I. Hernandez, I. Hertzberg, I. Hill, I. Weso, I. Huff, Jackson, I. Lada, I. Leno, I. Leva, I. Liu, I. McGuire, I. Mendoza, I. Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, I. Morrell, I. Wynn, I. Nilsson, Pan, I. Pavley, I. Roth, I. Runner, I. Stone, I. Vidak, I. Wachowski, I. Wolk.
Senator Block moves the call. Moving on to file item 98, Senator Jackson. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 379 by Senator Jackson, an act relating to land use.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. SB 379 would require local governments to update the safety elements of their general plans to include climate adaptation and resiliency strategies beginning in January 2017. The Assembly amendments require that the use of natural infrastructure be considered in adaptation projects where feasible. They also clarify that local governments that have adopted a hazard mitigation plan or other climate adaptation plan that substantially complies with the requirements of this bill or have equivalent provisions can use that information in their safety elements and must specifically show how the requirements of the bill have been satisfied by those plans or provisions. Colleagues, it is clear that we are having to adapt to changes in weather, changes in patterns, changes in the incidents. I was walking my dog this weekend on the beach in Santa Barbara, and in the 30-plus years that I have lived there, I have never remembered the water so warm, which may also explain why we are having shark incidents in our local beaches, while we are seeing so many changes within our marine ecology, and why we are also seeing these extreme weather patterns. We must acknowledge that we have gone beyond the tipping point and that we must adapt to the changing realities of these climates by requiring that when these plans are updated, and again, we have worked with all of the opposition. We have virtually all of the opposition removed on the substantive issues. We really must take into account, as we plan for our future and our community's future, the realities of the life in which we now live. With that, I would respectfully ask for your aye vote on concurrence.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, I. Anderson, no. Bates, no. Bell, I. Berryhill, Block, I. Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, no. Galgiani, Glazer, I. Hall, I. Hancock, I. Hernandez, I. Hertzberg, I. Hill, I. Weso, Huff, Jackson, I. Lada, I. Leno, I. Leva, I. Liu, I. McGuire, I. Mendoza, I. Mitchell, I. Monning, Morlock, No, Morrell. No, Wynn. No, Nielsen. Pan. I, Pavley. I, Roth. Runner. No, Stone. No, Vidak. No, Wachowski. I, Wolk.
Senator Jackson moves the call. Moving on to file item 99, Senator Hernandez. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 461 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to highways.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this bill is back for concurrence in Assembly amendments. The amendments added co-author and added an additional section of road to be relinquished at the request of the City of El Monte. Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Senator Hernandez moves a call. File item 100. File item 100. Senator Wolk nodded her desk. File 101. Senator Hill. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 469 by Senator Hill, an act relating to professions and vocations.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, SB 469 is back on concurrence. This bill extends the operation of the California State Athletic Commission for 4 years. SB 469 is necessary in order to ensure the protection, health, welfare, and safety of the athletes and fighters licensed by the Commission who participate in sports and events the Commission oversees. I respectfully ask for your aye vote on concurrence, members.
Debate or discussion? Is there any debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Senator Hill moves a call. File item 102, Senator Hernandez. Senator Hernandez, do you wish to take up this item? Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 485 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to public sanitation.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam President, members, this bill is specific to the Sanitation District of Los Angeles. Current law establishes the district's power to manage wastewater and solid waste. This bill would expand their authority to allow them to assist local jurisdictions in Los Angeles County in stormwater and dry weather runoff management projects to comply with the water quality permits. Amendments taken in the Assembly have established a consultation method to ensure the sanitation districts are not infringing upon any existing water rights or ongoing water activities and removed all opposition. Members, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Whistle. Huff. Jackson.
Aye.
I. Lotta. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. Mitchell. I. Monning. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk.
Senator Hernandez moves a call. File item 103, Senator Lara. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 504 by Senator Lara, an act relating to court records.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President. SB 504 is back for Senate for concurrence and Senate amendments. Senate for concurrence, sorry, confusing here. In the Assembly, I took the amendment to remove the opposition of the state district attorneys. Now the bill is clear in the restitution fines and fees can still be enforced by a court. The main purpose of SB 504 still remains intact, and that is to remove the fee associated with sealing. In California, we have youth who have served their time for minor misdemeanors and are now ready to turn their lives around and make an honest living. This bill gives our youth the opportunity to do so by removing the fiscal barriers to sealing their records. It is in the best interest of us all to pass this important bill for our youth. I respectfully ask for aye votes.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Debate or discussion? Is there any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. Bates. No. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. Huff. Jackson. I. Lotta. I. Leno. I. Leva. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. No. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Anderson, no.
Senator Lara moves a call. File item 104, Senator Bell. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 508 by Senator Bell, an act relating to transportation.
Senator Bell.
Madam President, members, this is a concurrence bill with the Assembly concurrence relating to funding public transit operators. We've been funding public operators of transit systems since 1971 with the Transportation Development Act that was passed and signed into law in 1971. The bill updates that act and makes minor technical amendments and changes to that particular law. And the bill is sponsored by the California Transit Association. I urge an aye vote on this measure.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. I. Glazer. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. Huff. Jackson. I. Lotta. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. I. Wolk.
Senator Bell moves a call. And may I just urge that we refrain from any displays of sports affiliations to avoid the potential for any internecine battles on our floor going forward. That's my fear. All right, moving right along to file item 105, Senator Pan, pass on file. File item 106, Senator Roth. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 536 by Senator Roth, an act relating to armories.